first, let me qualify. I don't think polls are all that reliable right now. In fact, I think the poll model that they have is pretty wrong. I think it's biased towards Trump. That said, when we look on one specific poll, we can see trends. And whether the absolute nature of the polls are correct or not, that's not the issue. The issue is the trends on that particular poll that has a particular data set that it follows. Well, guess what? Fox News has a polling system, and their poll, and that poll is not there to do Biden any favors, have shown an 11-point swing in independents towards Biden. Not only that, that same poll has Biden beaten Trump. I think it's like 50 to 40 something. But the idea here is that it seems Biden is the first to really substantially stay and cross the 50-point margin, or the 50-point margin in the race. So I wanted to listen to this piece from MSNBC because I think they cover it a bit of this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
A big shift among independent voters could signal some new momentum for President Biden heading into that all-important first presidential debate, which is now just 1 week away. This new Fox News poll, take a look at this, shows Biden leading the former president by 9 points with independents. 52% to 43%. That is a massive swing from just a month ago when Trump was leading by 2 points. Keep in mind, Trump was convicted after the May poll, and this poll came after that. So it's not the only movement. For example, while Trump still holds a clear lead on the issues of immigration and the economy, Biden has cut those leads roughly in half. So lots to discuss here. Vaughn, we've been hearing for a while now from independents that if Trump were convicted, right, that may push them away. Are we seeing this come to fruition?
What Donald Trump needed was to get a certain number of independents back to his corner. Folks who voted for him in 2016 fled him in 2020. And the number of conversations I had in the months leading up to that 2020 election where folks were saying, we were a little bit scared that he was going to be a wild card. And we voted for him anyways. And then he ended up turning out to be that wild card figure. And so the question was, in the years under the Biden administration, a lot of these independents are more conservative leaning, moderate voters that want to vote for an old school classic Republican, somebody that can, push through policies that our friend here once advocated for himself in Congress. And so this is where the question now is, are those same folks, that are like, maybe we should go back to that? Are they going to be reminded in what is only going to be an intense 4 months ahead here? The guilty conviction you see in that Fox News poll, that swing of independent voters. This is what the Biden camp wanted to see. And they were convinced that once folks re-engaged and actually saw Donald Trump for who he is, watched a trial play out over the course of 7 weeks, that you would then see the numbers. This is just one poll. There's going to be a lot coming out in the weeks ahead. But this is an early indication of exactly what the Biden camp wanted, that once independents get re-engaged and see Donald Trump for who he is and himself and what a jury finds him to have been guilty of, they will start to move. And that's what this shows.
Well, and he was complaining for a long time about being kept in the courtroom and not being able to be out on the campaign trail. But now he's been able to get out there since his conviction. People are seeing and hearing more of him. This 11-point swing is significant. I should note, Trump just posted on social media that this poll is trash. But if you're in the Trump campaign right now, Congressman, do you have to be worried?
You do, because this is the essence of Joe Biden's entire theory of the campaign, going back a year, that this is how it would play out, that as it got closer to the election, as Donald Trump faced criminal culpability and accountability, and as Joe Biden's work in the White House began to really take effect, that it would be a slow march to November where he would overtake Donald Trump. And if there's any indication here that should give Biden hope and worry Donald Trump, it's that. This is Biden's strategy all along. And I think what we're seeing is people are feeling better about the economy. We see those numbers, but they also have been reminded of late why they don't like Donald Trump. Outside of MAGA, people don't like Donald Trump. And so they're thinking, okay, I could be okay with Joe Biden, but I really don't want Donald Trump back.
Let's talk about the economy for a moment, because, Sam, when you look at this polling, 32% now say it is in good or excellent shape. It's not super high, but it is the highest of Biden's presidency. In addition, just 30% said they thought the economy was getting better back in May. In June, the question was a little different, asking whether voters were optimistic about the economy, and 44% said yes. What specifically is behind this shift, do you think?
Well, I think there's probably two things. One is the actual economy improving. You're seeing inflation steady at low end, obviously still too high for a lot of people, and especially in the housing market, but lower than it had been. And people are starting to feel better about their personal finances because of that. And I think the other thing is sort of atmospheric, which is as you get closer and closer to the election, further in the election season, people tend to rally back to their party. So Democrats had for a number of months been skittish or openly skeptical about Joe Biden, more willing than usual to express their disappointments with the presidency. But as the election nears, you get a bit of a rallying behind the flag type phenomenon that happens where Democrats start to see things more rosy and they start to rally behind their president. And so I think that's what's being picked up in the polls. And frankly, that's problematic for Trump a little bit because he's been clinging to this small lead. But that was premised on the idea that traditional Democratic constituencies would either stay home or even vote for him. If they do come back into the fold, that lead will evaporate and you could end up seeing Joe Biden inch ahead a little bit.
So yeah, a Fox News poll finally starts to see the reversal that I've been talking about. Now, again, I am not this poll that had Biden behind. Even that poll, I don't think was correct because I think, like I said, the voter model that they're using does not reflect reality. But that said, it's the same poll and the trend is going towards what we all expected it to be. Well, what people like me that doesn't follow the daily crap that you hear out there, but look at it from an analytical point of view and from an experiential point of view, where you can see the flavor of the nation. And I'm still sticking by what I said before. I don't believe this will be a close election if the Democrats do their jobs. And this is not going to be just relegated to the presidency or the Senate or the House. The Republicans have given Democrats a path to a landslide based on what they represent. It's not that people suddenly fall in love with Democrats. It's just that they find the Republican Party a clear and present danger to the country.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.